Yo, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. My name is Sufferplenty, but everybody calls me Rye. And today I decided it was time to do a Q&A. I've been meaning to do an Instagram Q&A. I actually have recorded 2 of these over the past like 3 years. Like, I don't know what the hell happened that I never got around to editing them. Because when I did get around to editing them, I was like, it is way too late to be posting this. Let's just do a new one and refresh. So that kind of sucks that that was a missed opportunity, but we're here right now. We're doing this, and this one will be edited and posted in a timely manner, I promise you. But getting us started into this, the first question is, how long have you been making music? I really love this question because I'm actually about to be coming up on my 7-year anniversary. Super terrifying because it's like, I think for most people, if they have been making music for 7 years and it hasn't really like gone anywhere or like been successful, they would probably give up. So it's kind of a weird, bittersweet point because like I'm really proud of my accomplishments and everything that I've been able to do in these 7 years, but at the same time it is like, damn, I did expect making music for 7 years that I would have a bigger audience, not because I necessarily want to blow up, but just because like my music is really important to me and it would be really nice to have more people to like share my excitement with and like share what I'm doing with. I just feel like it's really nice to have that like support, and like I definitely do have some support and I'm very, very grateful for that. There are definitely some core sufferplenty fans out there, and I love everybody who streams my music. It sincerely means the world. But yeah, 7 years coming up September 13th. I started making music in 2017. My first song is still here on YouTube. It's called Finders Keepers, but it's really, really horrible. The beat and the lyrics do not match at all. The mixing is awful. My voice is horrible. Just overall a terrible, terrible song, but I left it up because I want people to be able to compare where I started and where I'm at and where I'm going. So I'll never delete any of my old songs. They will always be there for you to listen to and to compare. But yeah, September 13th, 2017 was when I first started making music, when I first dropped my first song. And yeah, it's coming up 7 years this year. Absolutely bizarre.
I would like to disappear. Tell me, who am I to go? People telling me to stay. It's murder, I wrote, and I don't give a damn. I'll always be damned. I found her broken heart, fixed it, she hit the fan.
This is the homie. How you really doing right now? Oh god, don't ask me that. I'm kidding. Not good. Not good. Never good. I'm hopeful for a better tomorrow, for a better future, but these past 4 months have been awful. They have just been so terrible. I've been through so much shit, and I've had 2 manic episodes, some run-ins with my bipolar, tried a new medication, didn't go well. Finally got back into therapy though, and so things are a lot better than they were. But I've also been unemployed for the past 4 months. Yeah, like I have a job, but I don't have a job because they're barely giving me hours. Just things have fallen apart. There is no stability. But, you know, if you're going through anything similar, like there's a light at the end of the tunnel. You know what I mean? Like you just got to get through all the shit and then everything will kind of like fall back into place again. And it's actually my fault. I like self-sabotaged because of my bipolar manic episodes. And that's because I didn't have a therapist. So if you are somebody like me, please make sure you have a therapist to help you navigate the trenches of life, because I certainly am not the kind of person who can deal with my problems, deal with my shit by myself. I have to have somebody help me, or I will make horrible decisions, which is exactly what happened in this instance. But yeah, not doing good, but it's okay. You know, if you're not okay, it's okay. Just admit that shit. Don't try to mask it. Don't try to put a smile on your face if you don't feel like smiling. That's why I will always be transparent about where I'm at and how I'm feeling. But it's gonna get better probably soon. I'm hoping. I should be getting my old job back. So I'm very excited, very hopeful, like I said. And somebody else asks, is there a specific song that influenced you to start making music, or just artists? That's a very good question. I feel like my memory is like so all over the place. I can't even really remember who I was listening to around the time that I started making music, I would probably say primarily XXXTentacion, because around the time that I had started making music, I found Look at Me, and I was following X on Instagram, and he had posted the 17 album. If you listen to that at all, I can't remember the timeline, so I could be messed up when I say this, but my At the Edge of This World album, that was the first album I ever released. It was heavily inspired by X, because he was very, very raw. Even before the 17 album came out, that was like my first encounter with like emo rap, or whatever the hell you want to call it, sad rap. I had never really heard that combination of like alternative rap with hip hop before. So I would definitely say X was probably my biggest inspiration for starting music. I'm sure there was more people. There was a person on SoundCloud, I think his name was Love Spelled Backwards, but I definitely recall being influenced by him and just a bunch of other SoundCloud underground artists that I had found at the time. I know I was listening to Nothing Nowhere though, and I know that that was a really big one. Since you asked that, this is actually a playlist from around the time that I started making music. This was made like early 2017. So these are some of the biggest inspirations. This is like literally everything that I was listening to in 2017. Somebody else asked, if you weren't pursuing music, what would you do? I really can't imagine myself doing anything else. I think I would probably just be doing what I'm doing right now my entire life, minus making music. I would probably just be working some random ass job until the day that I die, because I'm not really passionate about labor. I'm not passionate about working a job. I'm really only passionate about music and creating content. I do know that like before I realized that music is what I wanted to do with my life, when I was younger, like in middle school, I thought that I was going to join the Marine Corps. I was really interested in the military, and then I became like super anti-military, anti-government, and obviously like the tattoos and the bipolar, I wouldn't have been able to join anyway. But yeah, I wanted to join the military at first, and then I thought that I would be military police, like a dog handler maybe. And then I thought I was going to be a therapist, but I'm not really passionate about any of those things. I just wanted to join the military because of Call of Duty, and because a lot of people in my family are in the military or have served. So I kind of just wanted to like follow in those footsteps, and like the whole therapy thing. I wanted to be a therapist because I wanted to help people, but like I can't even help myself, and I can barely deal with my own problems. So I definitely wouldn't be able to handle other people's on top of my own. And additionally, becoming a therapist requires a lot of school. I graduated high school, thankfully, and I went to college for a couple semesters, but I absolutely hate school. I hated going to school. So anything that would have required schooling is something I would not have been able to do because it just wasn't for me. But this person asked an update of paranormal activity. So for context, we got some paranormal shit going on in here. Like, I don't know what it is, but living here, and even when we lived at the hotel, Joan and I have had some encounters, and especially with my parents, like abandoned house, like, dude, there's been some shit. So lately, it's just been the usual, nothing out of ordinary, just like bad vibes. I'm very grateful that lately there hasn't been anything crazy going on, because like some other things that have happened that I'm sure this person definitely probably knows about, hence why they're asking. But for those of you who may not know, we have had encounters in this bedroom where like this, I don't know if they're just ghosts or if they're entities, I don't know what they are, but there's some sort of bad energy here, and it does not like Dino. Doesn't like Dino. We had like a picture of Dino like up here behind me, and it kept getting knocked over, and we finally had to move it, but it was like there was no wind, no nothing. Something was knocking that shit down, and it wasn't even like it was just like falling down. It was like somebody knocked that shit off. Like that was some hatred behind that. And then there's been like encounters where we can hear the ceiling above us is the kitchen. We can hear everything in there, like chairs moving around, footsteps, everything. There's been times where we have heard like footsteps and chairs moving around and everybody's asleep, and we'll go up there and there's nothing happening. So just little tiny creepy things like that is kind of what we've experienced around here. but we are basement dwellers, so it's to be expected, especially when we live with old people who have a lot of old relics and things that energies can attach themselves to. But there are good energies and there are bad energies, but thankfully no updates, nothing too insane has happened recently, and I hope it stays that way. Somebody asks, what's the next step in music that you're dreading taking? So this is interesting. I find that really interesting, that I'm dreading taking. I don't think I'm really dreading anything. I mean, I'm always kind of optimistic about everything. And like when it comes to my music, every step that I've taken, even if it's been challenging for me, I'm always looking forward to it. Like I'm always really excited about what's next or what's the next step. But I guess something that I can think of off the top of my head that I might dread is like maybe getting bigger. Like obviously my growth as an artist has been very gradual, but I have had some really creepy encounters with people, just people being weird and being disrespectful and not understanding boundaries, just general things of that nature. So I guess probably the thing that I'm dreading most with my music is like the next step for me is probably just growing my audience, and with that is probably going to come more weird people and more situations where I'm gonna have to like learn how to address these things. Like right now, like I do worry eventually, like when I get to the level of like performing shows and hopefully doing meet and greets, because if I perform big shows or anything like that, I would definitely want to be an artist who like does meet and greets after the show, hangs out with everybody, all that good stuff. But I know for a fact with that, you might encounter some people who are going to make that experience not good. And like I'm a very anxious person, so like I don't want that to take away from being able to connect with people who my music really resonates with. Like I don't want those people to make it where I can't interact with my fan base anymore. So I guess that's really what I'm dreading, is just encountering more of those weird people. And it's not even that they're really weird, it's just that maybe they have some sort of like barrier when it comes to socializing, that they can't register like what's okay and what's not okay. Like I've had people be kind of creepy, you know, like already at my level. I've had people try to send me and my family friend requests on Facebook. Like, you know me on the internet, that's obviously not okay. I've also had people feel entitled to like ask me for my phone number, or like me go check my messages and like just sit here and talk to them all day. And like, no offense, but I don't want to sit on my phone and have a conversation with you all day. I would rather be doing something more meaningful with my time. So really just a lack of boundaries. But I'm sure, like, you know, just like everything else, it's just like being a normal human being. In your everyday life, you might encounter those people anyways. It's just about learning how to like represent yourself, and you know, you got to stand up for yourself and set boundaries, even if that hurts the other person. I guess that's my problem, is like I have a really hard time knowing that whatever I'm saying, even if it's like just to defend myself or something, it might be harmful. And if they like my music or support my content, it kind of makes me feel bad and feel like guilty. So definitely that's something that I will be working on and just learning more of how to deal with. So even though it's something I'm kind of dreading, I'm not going to allow it to like put me off from wanting to grow and wanting to have fan interactions and that sort of thing. And another person asks, would I be down to collab on a song? I'm glad that this got brought up, because I was actually just talking about features and collaborations on stream the other day, because I had somebody come up in there and ask me to collab. And this has happened a lot lately, which is kind of cool, that like I'm at the level now where a lot more people are interested in working with me. That makes me feel really good. I'm very happy that people have an interest in collaborating. I used to have a lot of fun with collaborations, but as of right now, I'm kind of pulling an Oliver Francis, where I'm just trying to like not work with people. I'm kind of like closing myself off to people and just kind of focusing on personal projects. So far, I've had a really bad experience with collaborations and with like featuring on people's songs. Like in the past, I feel like I've had my time wasted a lot, because for me, like everything that I do is like a brick in a giant wall that I'm building. You know, this is what I have to show for the 7 years that I've been doing this. And a lot of the things that I have collaborated on, they've been taken down and they've never been posted. My time has just been overall wasted. And like for me, I don't care how old a song is. I don't care how bad it is. All of my music is there. You can find it. So it's just frustrating to me. when I work with somebody and they don't post it or they end up taking it down. There's also been instances of people like ruining the capitalization of my name, and then Spotify having to create duplicate accounts and then trying to take those duplicate accounts down. And it's like little things like that. I know there's no foul intent there, but it's like when you're working with somebody, I sit here, I double check the information, make sure I'm getting all their social medias right, make sure I'm getting the spelling of their name right, the capitalization, like those things are really important. And I find it kind of offensive when my name is lowercase on all platforms and people still tend to mess it up by uppercasing the S. So just really like lacking professionalism has kind of turned me off to working with other people. And like, I don't think I'm better than anybody in any way, shape, or form, but asking me if I want to collab, and then if I'm like, what do you have in mind? And they're like, I figured we would just make something. Like, that to me is very unprofessional. Like, if I'm working with an artist or I'm interested in working with an artist, I'm gonna have a song ready already. It's mixed, it's ready to be released. I just need your verse on it. I'm gonna hit you with an email. I'm not even gonna ask you if you want to feature on this. I'm just gonna hit you with an email. Put my song in there, put all the information in there that they need, like lyrics, timestamps, all that good stuff, and then I'm gonna pitch it to them, include my artist name in my email, bro. That's another thing, is I've had people send me emails and I don't even know who the hell they are, and I'm like, bro, you need to put your name in there. So yeah, just overall bad experience. I really want to work with like-minded people who are presenting themselves professionally. Like, obviously, if you're just doing this for fun, shits and giggles, that's fine. But me, like, I'm really trying to go somewhere with this, and no matter if I have an audience or if I don't have an audience, I'm always going to present myself in a professional manner, and I kind of expect the same thing, like the same standards from other people. So when I have such high standards, I would just rather keep to myself, because I've also had people who like expect me to work for free, and it's like, making music, it's not free. Like, I have to pay for the licensing to beats that I use. I have to pay for studio time to be able to record that song. I have to pay an engineer to be able to mix that song. And then if I want to market that, I might create a budget. So it's like, if you're not coming to me already having payment ready, expecting to pay a price for a service, then like, you can't walk into a grocery store and expect to walk out for free. So like, why would you expect to work with somebody and it be free? So that's another problem too, is I just don't want to deal with the bullshit of like, oh my God, why are you charging me? Like, I do this for fun. And I'm like, that's cool, but listen, I don't have that much free time. And when I do, I don't want to work on your shitty ass song. I would rather spend my time working on my shitty ass songs. So yeah, just probably right now, not going to be collaborating with people, but check my Instagram here and there, because I definitely, if I'm ever in a shitty position, I'll probably post on there and be open to features if I'm really, really desperate for money. But as of right now, I'm just going to focus on getting collabs on my songs. I already have some specific people in mind, and I'm trying to work with artists who are either with me or a little bit higher than me. Just really interested in working with people who inspire me. And last final question, wait, second to last, my bad. What is your favorite food? I would probably say the rolls from Texas Roadhouse. The rolls and butter, and you combine that with a Sprite, that's my go-to. Like, if I lived close to a Texas Roadhouse, I would probably eat that all day, every day for the rest of my life. Now the final question. What was your favorite part of making your upcoming project? So if you didn't know, I am working on an album called Too Busy Dying. It should be releasing in November. My aim is the end of November at least. I don't know if I will get everything done in time, but I am working on it. I have a bunch of teasers for it on my website, sufferplenty.com, and I also posted the video going to the studio for the first time, and you can hear snippets of like all those songs, and I hope to keep releasing information about it. But it started as an EP and now it's an album, and I guess my favorite part of making it so far has been, I don't even know how to explain it, because there's a specific thing that comes to mind, but I'm not even sure how to put it into words. It's like, I feel like this past year I have grown a lot as a person, and I used to look for like acceptance and validation in a way, like really wanting to fit in the scene of music that I make, and like trying my best to remain neutral about political or like controversial subjects. And I feel like this album, this project, has been kind of like a learning curve for me, and like really just shows my evolution, because it is a political album, and for the first time I am really like being outspoken. Like, I used to think maybe it wasn't okay to like be so open about what you believe in. Like, obviously having a platform, no matter the size of that platform, if you have a voice, you should use it. So this project is me kind of not giving a shit and finally just using my voice and talking about things that I feel like should be talked about more. So like, I talk about capitalism, I talk about how the United States is super incompetent, and I talk about hating working a job. Like, just all those things. I'm sure I'm missing a lot, but on top of that, just finally taking the steps that I should have taken sooner and not studying my own growth is something that stands out to me a lot. Like, every single song on this project will be mixed professionally. I'm not mixing any of my songs anymore because I feel like with a lot of my music, the vocals are very hard to listen to because the mixing, and like, I've always struggled with mixing my own vocals. So this will be the first project that has actually been professionally mixed by someone who knows what they're doing. So I'm really excited that this will be like the start of a new chapter, because like, I've gone through so many different evolutions and so many different eras. I'm most excited for this one to just stand out. So, and in summary, my favorite part is just kind of outgrowing myself and outgrowing who I was. It's definitely a step forward in the right direction, and I hope you will be looking forward to it and check it out when it releases. Since I know not many people watch my YouTube videos, I will say it is a relatively short project. It is only 8 songs, and 3 of those 8 songs will be released by the time that the project does come out. So 3 of those tracks will be recycled. One of them is already out right now. So just a little Easter egg for you. But yeah, that's all the questions that I have today. I really enjoyed doing this. I would hope to do more videos like this. Really happy that I could finally sit down and actually do this and be able to follow through on releasing it in a timely manner, because like I said, I've literally done this twice. But I highly appreciate everybody who asked questions. It really means a lot, and I hope that you were able to learn a thing or two from this video, and I hope that you have a good rest of your night or day depending on where you are. If you would like to, please be sure to drop a thumbs up, consider subscribing to my channel, stream my music on Spotify. Please stream my music on Spotify. Every little stream, every little penny helps, and I really need to go to the dentist right now, but I'm too broke to afford it. So run my music the fuck up so that I can go to the dentist. And if you would like to, you can also follow me on Instagram. Like I said, I've been live on Twitch 3 times a week. It's been a little over a year now since we started streaming on Twitch 3 times a week. Definitely been consistent with it, and we would like to see you in there. And if not, that's cool too. But yeah, I will catch you later. Peace.
I don't wanna do this anymore, but I have to. They just wanna use me, check the score, I see past that. All these women got me wanting more, I surpassed that. Had a dream, I woke up on the floor.